Hello, everybody, and welcome to Eternal X Wolfpack Paranormal. I am your host, Sean Ellis, and tonight we're going to be talking a little bit about paranormal and comics. I have a guest sitting backstage. His name is Austin Light. He happened to be on some of the All Access television network shows already, but this is the first time he's actually been on the Eternal X Wolfpack. And I know he's been on Paranormal Surge with Gwen and I. And the fact is, a little different tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about what's going on since the last time we talked, what may be coming up, and if anybody's got any questions, feel free to ask, because this is the time to do it, and especially about comics, because this guy right here has got one out. He's actually got it produced, and he actually got all the funding for his second one. I think that's what he was doing at the time, and for his second comic. So let's introduce him, Mr. Austin Light.
What's up, Sean?
Hey, Austin, how are you doing today?
Doing pretty good. Yeah, the last Kickstarter funded, and it was for issue number 3, but it was only my second Kickstarter, so the other one was for 1 and 2. But yeah, I got my print preview. It's like a proof. They sent it to me to check and see if there's any changes I need to do or anything like that. My girlfriend went and spell checked everything for me. There were just a few places that I might have edited the art just a tiny bit. But it overall looked pretty good. I brightened up this cover about 10% just to make it a little bit brighter, but it's looking really good, and it's in production right now.
That's awesome. I mean, congratulations, man. I mean, I remember, like I said, and I know we talked before, that me and some of my friends attempted it back in the late 90s to get one off the ground. And at the time, it was very expensive and how it had to be done. And I know you've got a lot of original characters as well. And like I said, your own company as well, American Demon Comics. Mm-hmm. So can you tell us a little bit about your main character?
Yes, Envy is the main character. She is the soul demon of King Belial. So she's an incarnation of King Belial, and she was summoned into our reality. And but in hell, she was very, very powerful. The Goetia says that she was second unto Lucifer when they fell, and that she is a rival to Archangel Michael. I'm saying she because that's what I kind of put him into, but it's a demon, so they don't really go by all that. So, but yeah, she was. So I made her like kind of the highest king of the kings, just under Lucifer, and so she lived a very pompous, very opulent kind of life in hell, and she enjoyed the privileges of being one of the most powerful, and so she kind of bossed around all her other siblings and peers. And then once she was summoned into our realm, she was defeated by Michael, and in order not to be reincarnated a 4th time, she decided to live the life of a human, and agreed to that with the summoner Fritz, and that's where issue 2 kind of took off. It was kind of more the origin story. So now she's having to kind of deal with, not only is she dealing with being a human, but she's also dealing with being a lesser. Like she's more equal to everybody now, and then as a human, she has no nothing over her peers and her uh, de- uh, demonological um, lineage. There's
Right.
no so she's trying to figure all that out, and she has to use her words and her choices wisely.
That's pretty interesting. Where did you actually come up with the theory? I know I've asked you this before. And how did you come up with the demon herself and for the
Uh,
story?
she, she was I was just kind of toying with webtoons at the time, um, and I published my first webtoon in 2019. And I had kind of made her an art class. I had kind of came up with this character that's like my in, you know, you want it to be a little embellished for the assignments and everything. So you kind of come up with what this is representing and everything. And so she was like the representation of my envy of other people, of other artists, and how much I wish that I could do some of the things that they do, or had some of that of what they could create at at the time. And so that's kind of how I made this demon envy. And then I was like, this webtoon thing is really cool, so I'm just gonna like make up a story real quick and throw it out there. And I did, and it was really exciting. So I was like, this feels right. This feels good. Like I enjoyed doing this. So why don't I take this further? And yeah, so over the course of the next few years, I did a little bit of studying in the demonology of it, and kind of developed it a little bit more. And then I was like, I have a little bit of a demand to take this to print. So I'm gonna try and redo it, reformat it, and put it on print. And at first, that sounded like a tall order because there was about 3 years worth of me posting on Webtoons, but I posted so irregularly that I didn't really have like a whole lot of story there.
Mm-hmm.
So when it was time to reboot it, I kind of surprised myself with how fast I went through all of what the Webtoons was. I had a lot more time on my hands to start developing that. Um, but yeah, so then once it went to print, I went whole hog into like learning more about these demons and the relationships to other texts, the Kabbalah, um, the Golden Dawn, the occult, and Aleister Crowley.
Yeah, he's a
So
very interesting character. I mean, I've read a
mhm,
little bit about Alistair myself, and the way he used to manipulate people.
mhm.
It's an interesting thing on the things he did. So if you based character a little bit after him, it's got to have a little twist to it because he's different.
Yes, yes, he's very strange, but he had a large part in the translation of the Goetia and of the Testament of Solomon and all that stuff. So um, I watched a few documentaries on him, um, and kind of got a general idea of what he was, how he was seen to most people. But for the most part, I tried to read the Testament of Solomon. Turns out a lot of the Testament is prayers, so there's a lot of repetition. There's a lot of returning themes in those prayers.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then there's the story that Asmodeus uh, took the ring from Solomon, his seal, and was able to cast Solomon away and take the form of Solomon and rule for a little bit. And then Solomon comes back and defeats him. So there's a lot of fun stuff and all that.
Did you ever base any of your characters after any of your friends or family?
Uh, Let me think. I
Or,
don't think I have any in Envy currently. that are based off anybody specifically, but I have taken like other actors that I kind of want their vibe. So I'll think of an actor like the prosecutor in Inby, Satanis, is loosely based off like the personality of Robert Downey Jr. Um, as Iron Man, as Tony Stark, really.
Right.
So I kind of put a layer of that on him. Um, so I thought about doing that with other characters. Who's that guy that played Shane in The Walking Dead?
I
John
know.
Bernthal.
Yeah, I think
Something
so.
like. He was he was going to be a layer of him was going to be put on another character in a different story that I was thinking of. So sometimes that's what I kind of draw from real life, but I do try to take into account other people and how they talk and what kind of story comes out of day to day that will help embellish what I'm writing.
I can understand that. I mean, being relatable to characters that people have seen before to kind of give them a little insight on possibly how the character that you've created will turn out, and then you've added your own twist to it as well. How much did you add of yourself into some of the characters when you created them? Hello, Joe. Joe is in the house.
Hey, Joe.
How much of yourself did you add to your characters?
Um, I would say Envy has like a 50% of me, and I would say, then I would say Sam, in the book has like 25 to 50% of me in just a different area of me. Um, so I do like to kind of project a little bit. Uh, but it's hard to say really because I really want them to have uh, their own personality that develops.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. Tonight, everyone, we're talking to Austin Light. He is the owner of American Demon Comics, and he actually has comics of his own. This is the comic book, The American Demon, and that is the cover of the one you just did, right?
Yes, I altered it a little bit. So my standard cover comics have a red theme about them, but this is a variant cover. So I was like, let me take away that red and make something a little bit more in line with Lust. And so I kind of put some pink splatters behind her, made it black, made it look a little bit better. So it kind of turned out like that. I don't have any
Yeah,
like.
it kind of looks like a foil cover on top of it. I mean, it's got kind of a gloss to it or a glow.
I'm trying to find a good lighting. Yeah, Comics Wellspring does a really good job when they print. I was reading one of my friend's comics today that's also an indie creator. He did a Kickstarter a few months back, and I just got him. And his copies don't have that the extra weight that on the cover that Comics Wellspring does. And I really like that about Comics Wellspring. It feels like it's a little bit more protected. It feels a little more. I don't know the word, but it feels nice and it looks good too.
Right.
It's like they can put a little bit more depth in it with that extra weight of the paper,
Right.
so the ink does pop a little bit. And they do foil covers, but I'm testing the waters right now with everything I'm doing. So I'm not jumping into that yet.
It'd even be kind of cool in some aspects since you deal with the demons and stuff like that and pentagrams, and I'm sure maybe even looking into a 3D type cover. That would kind of really stand out, or a
I
glow in the
might.
dark, or even a glow in the dark cover.
That would be cool. That would be. I would love to do like a blacklight cover. That would be really cool. Um, the next issue that I do will be the 4th issue, and I don't know if I'll make an independent floppy for it. I might just go straight into consolidating all of them into a trade paperback.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, doing different things with the covers will be fun when I start to get more familiar with the regular printing process. This is the first time. This is the issue number 3. This is the first time that I sent it to the printer, got it back, and was like, "Wow, all the pages are fitting. They all fit where they're supposed to." So I just now got that down pat.
That's awesome. Do you actually lay out the comic book before you send it? You know, because I know you have to put page 1 with page, let's say 14, and then you have to do 2 with 13 or whatever. So when they print them, it's all one piece, and then when they put it together, they fold them. Do you lay it out that way, or do they lay that out
I
for
don't
you?
have to do that. I can number it straight down 1 to 40 something, and I sent it to them, and they probably have a process where they know exactly how to put those pages in the right spot.
Yeah.
But I did have to do that before when I made my first issue. I printed it through Best Value Copy, and I had to send it to them where I was the one putting it together when it's sent to me. So I did have to format it where the pages were supposed to kind of fold and accordion in, and the page numbers had to be all weird like that.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting on how they do it, because I used to have to burn the plates for the newspaper, and it goes on the same theory. You have to put page 1 with this page 2 with this page, and then when they print it on the printing press, it's all one page. But then when they put it together and they layer it, it comes out as your comic.
Mm-hmm.
So, or the newspaper. So it's really interesting on how they did that. It blew my mind the first time I ever seen it. I was like, what? And then I was like sitting there and I started watching it. I was like, okay, I get it. And then it just kind of fell into place. But that's definitely interesting. Do you have a picture of your main character? Because I don't have one of those. I've got a couple pages of your regular pages, but do you have a picture of your main character that you can show?
Well, I just have my regular pages as well, because she's on the issue number 3 cover, but they didn't send me that print proof. They just sent me the variant cover. Okay. So I've got her kind of coming up right here when she's first summoned.
Mm-hmm.
And she's taller than them, and then Fritz is bowing down right there. But
because I have this picture right here. If you want to kind of explain what's going on with this scene.
The native tribe that I introduced, the Muskogee, they were doing a little cleansing for their forest, and they didn't know they currently in this point do not know that there's a spire from hell coming out of the ground, and that there's a sect of their tribe that has become a part of this cult that is bringing some of these demons into the world. But they did a cleansing ritual, and they summoned I think it's like HSVTSE, Hitsvitsi or something like that, which is like the Thunderbird in their culture. And by proxy, I just made it the Phoenix. So there at the bottom, the Phoenix is peering out from behind a tree, and waiting for the coast to be clear to go check out the forest.
That's awesome. Definitely got a lot of clean drawings. It looks like it's clean the way you've done it and how you've got it laid out, where you can tell the story for sure. Then I've got this cover, or this page, I should say.
So that's the visions that the chief was having while they were doing the ritual, and he sees visions of the future of an apocalypse, while also the Phoenix is coming in and being summoned into their forest.
Yeah, that's definitely very interesting. I'm definitely going to have to get a hold of you. I was talking with one of the guys at work, and he likes the way you draw comics, and he likes comics and reading the way that you animate it and draw it. And I said, hey, you should check in on the show tonight and check this out. And I happened to show him a few of the pages, and he's definitely interested. So I'm going to have to get with you maybe after the show and get your address and have some sent out, and so you can check them out as well. Because I definitely kind of like to read the first 2 issues before you get the third one done to see what is going to entail and how the story will come out. It's definitely interesting for that.
Absolutely.
I also have a picture of you here. You're at conventions and Comic-Cons. So
yes. In this picture, I set up at my local shop for a day. And I think my buddy, one of the shop owners, came and took that picture and put it on Facebook for me.
Yeah.
I just now got a few more prints in as well. Oh, that reminds me. So I do have a good picture of Envy in issue number 3.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
So I have a little infographic about Belial and Envy in this in my world.
Mm-hmm.
And then I made a print of the other info page for Lust. So that I just oriented that a little bit differently and made a print of it. So I got some new stuff coming out for the convention goers.
That's pretty awesome. I'm assuming you sign all the books when they come in and buy them when you're there too as well.
If they ask, I'm generally it's because sometimes it's too busy to do that. But if somebody asks, I'll do it. And sometimes I offer, if you want it signed, I'll sign it. And some people take it, some people don't. So for the Kickstarter, I'll be signing all my issues before I send them out, though.
That is cool. Have you ever had one of your people that follow you dress up like any of your characters and show up?
Not yet. Not yet. And I'm very hopeful that is something that happens in the future.
That would be cool for sure. I do have a picture of this because we've had this discussion, and if people haven't seen it before, Austin does dress up as the character.
Mm-hmm. I dress up. Go ahead.
What do people think when they realize it's you?
They it's a mixed bag. A lot of people will kind of come up, they ask questions, and then when I talk and they hear my voice, they kind of jump a little bit. But yeah, for the most part, some people will will kind of brush it off, and some people jump and are a little shocked. But it's a lot of fun. I dress up as Diona, so kind of like my business mascot, and
Right.
she's just kind of the persona that I put out for like marketing and everything. So if you get messages from me on Kickstarter, it's by Suzerain Diona.
Yeah.
If you get my emails, it's by Suzerain Diona.
Huh. I gotta ask. I know you normally have your hair up. That's your regular hair, right?
Mm-hmm.
In this picture, what are the horns actually attached to? Is there type of a headband that's on there?
Yeah, so you can see it very slightly, um, just right on my hairline. There's a little rubber band that goes all the way around my head and through the horns. Um, there's a little, uh, there's like a button in the back that where the tethers kind of get run through, and you can tighten or loosen them by pressing that button and pulling on the tethers.
So I'm curious, what are those horns actually made out of?
Foam.
Really?
Yeah.
They actually
I
look like a more harder type plastic than foam.
mhm. I bought them first time I bought them from a Halloween shop, and they stopped selling them, so I bought them a second time off Amazon, and I spray paint them black, and that gloss from the spray paint I think makes it look very nice and obsidian.
It does give it like a hard look cover on the horns. I mean, it almost looks heavy and actually authentic if you're
Mm-hmm.
looking at it from that perspective. And yeah, it fools me that they're actually foam.
Yep. Now they do start to press in on my head and get a little uncomfortable, but yeah, for the most part, they're light and um, easy to break if you were to just kind of try and bend them. So
Yeah. Now, if I remember right, you're a father, right?
mhm.
What does your little one think when you dress up like this and get ready to leave?
she my my son has never seen me dressed up, um, but my daughter has gone with me to a few of the conventions, and she could care less. She saw me the first time and was like, "Whoa," and then went on about her day. She just she she's in that furry community, and she likes seeing people dressed up with like the big puppy heads and wolf masks um and the tails and that kind of stuff. So we've tried to get her a few of those pieces to dress up as, but that's what she really enjoys.
And how old is she?
She's 12.
So she doesn't take after dad's footsteps and be the demon.
No. I mean, at her age, I wouldn't have either. But you know, yeah, life changes you a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely does. I think it's kids when they see us adults dressed like that and haven't seen us do that before, it kind of freaks some of them out. And I think you told a story about a little boy or a little girl you seen at one of the Comic Cons. You kind of freaked out a little bit, didn't you?
Oh yeah, the kids all the time are like looking at me from a distance, and when they pass by the table, they'll be holding hands with their guardian, and like just constantly the whole time. That especially if I have my contacts in, um, with the white, they just don't stop. They'll just keep looking as they pass by. Um, and like I said, sometimes when I speak, people jump, and little kids have done that several times as well. So it's it's entertaining, My girlfriend be like, that kid is just hard staring at you right now.
What did she think when you
Oh,
first dressed like
she
that
doesn't
character?
care. She'll dress up with me sometimes. So
Does she dress as one of your characters?
no, she'll she wants to dress up like Lust, but we haven't found a good dress or a good, because they don't mass produce my
Right.
characters or anything. So finding that substitute to work with, she hasn't found one yet. But she's dressed up as like Raven from Teen Titans and from DC. So she's dressed up as clown. Other, she dressed up as like as a like demonic nun one time. So she'll dress up in different things.
That's cool. We got Maddie Vasquez in the house. Hello, Maddie.
What's up, Maddie?
Sitting there watching. I was watching the picture stuff here, and trying to get everything readjusted here again. But yeah, that's cool that you guys actually have something like that in common, where you guys can dress up and just have fun and just do something different, and get away from life.
She just corrected me. Vampire nun, not a demonic nun.
A vampire nun. That'd be kind of interesting. That'd be kind of interesting. I know me and you've talked about this before, and I don't know if I've showed you pictures of this or not, but I used to work in a haunted house. And
right.
Here's part of what it started out to look like when I started it. And it took like 5 hours just to get this. But yeah. I dressed as a wolf.
Yeah, enough to frighten anybody.
Black eyeliner, the brown makeup, you tint it with the white. I let my beard grow out to a point where it looks part of it, where I'm not wearing the mask. And then the final part looks like this.
Oh, that's got to be fun to come out of the shadows like that.
Yeah, they stuck me in a cage in the house, the haunted house part. And people didn't realize that they were hoses, and I could pull them apart, and I could come out of the cage and come after them. And I tell you what, they would scream and holler. Here's another one when I had another collar on. But they would scream and holler. And the weird thing about it, and the best part about the whole thing, and I think you know this as well, like you said, because of the reactions that you have, when you know somebody that they don't realize that you're dressed that way, and you say their name when they walk by, it freaks them out completely. It's like, where? Who are you? How do you know my name? And it just goes on, and it freaks them completely out. And I would have college guys walking into this section, and they would be crawling and scared when their girlfriends are laughing at them. And it was so funny. But then also I had a young lady that come in, and I could hear her from around the corner. And I would say things like, I smell you. I can hear you. And I start scratching on the walls. and they start coming around the corner, and they're on the far side of the wall. So they're against the wall away from me, trying to figure out what's around the corner. And I opened up the cage and chased her about halfway back through the haunted house. I tried to get the clip of it. It was great. And then I also went to my cousin. She had a Halloween party, and I did this.
Oh, that's good.
Actually, that's a shower cap that I converted over my hair and glued it down. And then I did the makeup and put scratch marks through it with the liquid latex, so it looks like it's splitting the skin. So, that was my zombie look for that night, and that had a lot of things too as well. So, I mean, it's fun to be able to do things like that, and especially like you do it. You do it for your comics, and promoting your comics like you said, your mascot. And I think that's pretty cool that you got a little bit of artistic in every side, is in the point of being able to create it in life as on the pages as people read it.
I've always loved to dress up. Uh, I've gone to anime conventions since 2013. And if I can find my account real quick, I can share some of my cosplays. Because I've cosplayed many characters.
That's cool. I've actually went to some Comic Cons here recently where people actually dressed up, and the most famous ones are Star Wars, the Boba Fett series. People are starting to dress a lot like them right now, and then you got your occasional other ones. But yeah, it's definitely fun to go, and if you actually got the time and to make the costume, set up the costume, and go, they're definitely fun to go to.
Yeah, I never wanted to stop. I was like, this is like Halloween was my favorite thing because I always got to dress up. It wasn't because of candy. It was because I could always be something that I couldn't be normally during the year.
Oh yeah.
So when I discovered cosplaying at conventions, I was like, oh, I can do this multiple times during the year. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, I definitely wish they would have more in our area to be able to do things like that, because it is cool, especially to see how people come up with stuff. One of the things I've seen online, and you possibly have too, like Iron Man, how they make 3D prints of the outfit, or War Machine, Batman, the cowls, the Spider-Man heads, and the creativeness they come up with to make those actually work with their costumes. So
I've got some of them pulled up here. I can share my screen real quick.
hello, Lee. Thanks for stopping
Hey,
in.
Lee.
She is the CEO of All Access Network Television. Thanks for stopping in, Lee. But love you too, Lee. Here we go. I'm going to bring him up here for you.
All right. So I got a lot of like workout stuff on this profile, but here I dressed up as Deku from My Hero Academia, and just had some photo dumps with that. There I was Yang from the Ruby. So that was fun. Here I was Mikasa from Attack on Titan.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to tell you, the Attack on Titan stuff is it's labor to put on, and then it's labor to walk around in. So you see those straps on my thigh? Well, there's straps and harnesses going up under my chest, across my back, and it all connects and then goes down to my feet. And it is been the hardest. It's been one of the most fulfilling, but one of the hardest cosplays to do is to be an Attack on Titan character and have all that stuff on. Because those straps on my thighs, you can't tell it, but they are absolutely constricting my blood flow.
Wow.
Because they if you don't have them on tight enough, they just fall down over and over and over. It's so annoying. But I got to be Silk at Low Mill.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm getting to take pictures with all these other cosplayers that are really cool. Here I was Erwin. This was back in 2015. But any chance that I could find to dress up, I would. And then I was Roanoa Zorro, just I was gonna say just a few years ago, but it was like 2019. It was
Right.
forever ago. It was like 2018. um, so yeah, I love dressing up. So anytime that I can get to do that, I'll uh, I'll dress up. And
Have Have you ever thought about having a convention around your comic and getting people to come and having a cosplay?
well, I'm not that big yet, so uh,
Well,
I don't
still, I
know.
mean, the third issue, you know, coming out, it's a push for the fourth, you know, to get people keep coming, and you know, to get people together and have fun. I mean,
I've thought about doing launch parties where I can have like a deal with a bar or something where that's like for the night, people attending the launch party get 10% off, but I get to open the door.
mhm.
Um, and and then they just kind of like help sponsor the as a venue or something. And then I launch a Kickstarter and you know try and get some promotion and momentum that way. But I've never. I don't think I want to deal with the stress of doing like a full fledged convention.
Well, I mean, start out small, like a small community center or something, and see how many people come. And like I said, have cosplay and a little bit of this, and have maybe a couple food vendors come in, and just like you said, it's fun to do. People definitely like doing it. And then, like I said, set up your own table for your comic and be able to push your comic and stuff like that. That'd be kind of awesome, you know, is in the fact of doing that. And then if you found, you know, maybe even people like me, if we were closer in the area, paranormal teams that could actually come and set up alongside, because it's dealing with demons and stuff like that and the paranormal. So just an idea to throw out there toward you. I mean, you're doing very well so far with getting two comics off the ground and now going for a third. That's pretty amazing. I definitely got to give you credit for that, my friend.
Well, I really appreciate it, and that that's a tempting thing that to think about. Um, but I know that that's a lot of there's a lot that goes into a convention, and even if it is small, I wouldn't want it to get big. You know what I mean?
Well, I know you,
I'm working on a.
you always want to blow it up to the, hey, you know, but you know, start off small. I mean, you're doing very well for, like I said, starting out as it is. And like I said, I'm going to definitely get with you here afterwards and get your address, and I'm going to order a few copies of that. And I definitely want to read the first couple, and for sure. But like I said, you know, we all start out small. Even I did. I mean, start out at one, build up to 100, and you keep on going. And but to have a combination, you could have a combination of three different things for it. Like I said, you've got your comics, you've got the paranormal field you can help with, and all help each other out. And even the cosplay coming in, you know, because I've seen cosplayers like Ghostbusters come to some of the conventions I've been to, you know, dress up and bring Ecto One. They've actually got cars set up, or they come in hearsed. I've seen them come in hearsed before. And yeah, I mean, start out small, but you know, get your name out. And like I said, so far you're doing really well, and I will help you, like I said, the best I can. And I think it's pretty awesome, you know, definitely taking steps in the right direction for sure.
Well, I really appreciate it. And speaking of the paranormal, I'm getting to do a small excursion with Scott, the guy that I sent you his page and everything. He did a Kickstarter recently to get a little bit of funding to be able to do some stuff. And one of the things is we have I think a cave area called Montesano,
Okay.
And he told me that he was real vague. I was trying to see if I could find the conversation, but he was real vague about what we were planning on doing. He said it was going to involve kind of a cryptid uh, search.
Kind of a
Yeah,
mixture of
I got a filming opportunity coming up. If you're interested in joining, it'd be uh, a select few of us, and then there's no solid day yet. It's a cryptid kind of thing up on Montesano. So he had to get like permits to be able to go through the cave or something. So that's going to be like my first actual experience in doing some kind of paranormal hunt and investigation. So I'm pretty excited about that. I think we're going to try and do a day in August. So right smack dab in the month I'm doing 2 conventions and my son's birthday. But I'll squeeze it in there.
That's cool. That you'll enjoy that. You'll definitely like that, and especially once you go out on your first adventure or investigation, it kind of gets stuck in your blood a little bit. It makes you want to know more. It definitely is like, hey, this could be this, and I'm sure it'll trip off your imagination with other things, especially with your drawings, your comics, and etc. Hey, you know, this could be this, and why could it be that? And then I've seen this firsthand. I can improvise this,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll give you a different outlook on things, especially if you've seen some really cool stuff. That's for sure.
Yeah,
And
I'm really excited. So
I definitely know one thing for sure, and we've talked about this before. Maybe down the road, and we could actually merge because I've got some ideas that we can merge with the paranormal and your characters in a comic story, and definitely do that maybe down the road if you're ever interested. And because I've got some things I'm working on right now. Possibly, I bought some stuff to start working on a game, so we're going to see how that works out. We're going to try to make a prototype of that.
oh, that'll be cool. A game, like
Yeah,
a board or like a role playing, or
an actually board game. And we're going to actually start working on that, me and a buddy, because we talked about it yesterday, and making the prototype of that and putting the storyline together for that and see how that actually works. And it'll take a lot of trial and error to see and get all the bugs out of it before I actually will approach somebody with the idea. But I want to make sure it's going to work, the storylines are going to work, and how the game will come about, and it's not going to be one of those games you can sit down if it actually works right. It'll be one of those ones that'll take a couple hours to play, depending on what scenarios you add to the story.
oh, that'll be real cool. I just wanted to do a real quick shout out because I am collaborating with somebody, Brian Brandow. He's a YouTuber that does a lot of comic book material, reviews, and that kind of stuff. He's putting together this art book of 25 artists, and they're all going to do a version of some kind of horror pop culture thing mashed up with a pinup. And
That's very cool.
I'm doing Medusa. So I just want to throw that out there, and I'm going to post this link, possibly. Probably I can do it in private chat.
Well, I actually just posted it in the regular chat, and people can see it.
Well, I can't. For some reason, it's got me locked.
Okay, all right. I'll transfer it over for you here.
Because I'm using Instagram instead of YouTube, and
Okay.
But yeah, that's going to be really cool. I'm looking forward to that. And
we'll post this up here for you. I posted this in the chat there, so you can go and find it.
Perfect. So yeah, just save that project. I don't know when he plans on posting it. Probably, if I had to take a guess, it's going to be right before Halloween. So here in a few months, and I'm working on the first one right now.
Okay. Pop this up again.
I was just changing tabs there, but yeah, I'll be very much interested in collaborating. I really enjoyed the project this damsels project, because it's he's like, okay, I just need you to do one pinup and I'll pay you for it, and that's it. And I'm like, great, I can handle that. It's the material I want to do. It's and it's just like one piece. So very excited about that.
Yeah, I've got a few shows left of this season that I'm going to finish up with, and then I'm going to take a break for a little bit before I come back with season 3. And during that time, I'm going to work on some projects, like I was saying, maybe the board game, and draw up some characters as well and sketch them up on how I want them to look and their background stories a little bit to collaborate with that, or if I wanted to proceed with my own as well. Because like I said, I've got a lot of ideas, and like I said, I've learned a lot just from you and talking from you, and that's one thing that's really cool, to be able to learn from somebody else and kind of follow in their steps to see how they do it, because things are so different now compared to when I was doing it, and to be able to come up with the money to be able to do stuff like that. So like I said, that's a big step, man. And that's awesome that you were able to do that. And congratulations on all you've done so far.
Well, I really appreciate it. I'm just gotta keep my eye on it, because a lot of shiny things are starting to pop up, and I can't. I gotta finish the story.
Cosplayers. Oh, I see what I'm hearing. Yeah. But yeah, so we're definitely at the top of the hour. I've got a few commercials I'm going to run here, Austin. But thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for talking with me, and I'm definitely going to keep an eye on you. And like I said, stories are going to be interesting, and I'm going to definitely get a hold with you here after the show if you stick around. And or you can just send me your address in private chat on Messenger, and then I'll go from there or whatever. And I'm going to order a few of them. And
sounds great.
Definitely sign them for me, though.
I can do that.
So, but like I said, I definitely appreciate you coming on the show and talking about the comics, the cosplay, and how you got into it and how it came about. So thank you.
I appreciate you having me on.
And I will definitely run some of the ads on the show still as well. So I'm going to set you backstage, and I'm going to finish off the show tonight. But thank you again. And go check out Austin on his page. You can see it at the bottom here floating, where you can find his page on Facebook and on the American Demon Comic.com. So I was trying to read it all in one piece instead of split up there. But definitely go check it out, because he's a great artist. He does some great stories, and he definitely digs into his characters, dresses like his characters, and everything else. So go check him out. He's an awesome guy. So I'll send you backstage, and I'll talk to you within a few minutes here.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. That was Austin Light from American Demon Comics. Check him out. He's definitely got a lot of great things going for him. He's an up-and-coming artist, and he's got a lot, like I said, a lot of great things going for him. And with that being said, I'm going to run some commercials here. We actually have this one right here that I am going to run right now. All Access Network Television. Yeah, definitely go check out All Access Network Television. They do have a lot of great shows on that network as well. And if you have any questions possibly about joining the network as well, contact Ms. Gwen Johns. She's the powerhouse producer behind all those shows on that network. And also Ms. Lee Brown. You can contact her as well to be able to see what they can do for you. They do some amazing work there. Also, we have a Paracon coming up, and I'm going to advertise for that as well. Definitely, if you're in the area, go check out that Comic-Con. There's a lot of great people that's going to be there. They're going to have a lot of speeches and talking about a lot of things, and a lot of other paranormal will be there as well. And I think Eddie Monster is even going to be there from the show, The Monsters. So definitely go check it out. Last but not least, the place I will be in July, you don't want to miss the Paranormal Rockdown.
Brace yourself for the Paranormal Rockdown, July 18th and 19th, 2025 at the Haunted Broadhead Manor. Friday night, rock out with Dead Amsterdam, Left on Red, and headliner Green Jelly. The music may not be the only thing shaking these walls. Rumor has it the spirits love a good beat. Will you meet one? Saturday, meet paranormal legends like Dave Schrader, Sam Baltrusis, and more. Enjoy thrilling workshops, tasty treats, and a live Zoom Q&A with Dustin Perry. Dive into the ultimate paranormal investigation with expert guides. Or join a spine-tingling seance with Sam Baltrusis. Tickets are limited. Get yours now for an unforgettable weekend of music, mystery, and chills.
Definitely check out the Paranormal Rockdown. And last but not least, I'd like to thank everybody who follows the page and shares out as well. I appreciate each and every one of you for actually stopping in, watching, saying hi. And I do appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for stopping in tonight. And next week, we have a return guest that we haven't talked to since season 1. We will have Peach State Paranormal. So definitely come check us out next Sunday. You guys have a great rest of your weekend. And I'm out of here.